Comcast Cablevision Channel 43 presents high school football. Today, a Colonial Conference rivalry. The Thundering Herd of Woodbury take on the host Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. This game brought to you by the Bank of Gloucester County. Hometown banking, everybody knows your name. Celebrating 10 years and growing to serve you better. And by Underwood Memorial Hospital, partners with Jefferson Health System, working with you and your doctor for a healthier community. And by Pandolfo Chiropractic, ensuring a long and active lifestyle through chiropractic care. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Schrack with Sean Leary on a gorgeous day at Paulsboro High School for one of the key rivalry football games, not only here in Gloucester County, but throughout South Jersey. Both of these teams we thought were coming into this game with 2-0 records based on early season performance. But Sean Leary, something happened just 48 hours ago that changed that in a very dramatic way.
Yeah, the NJSAA rule states that anybody turning the age of 19 before September 1st is not eligible for the athletic season. Woodbury had someone on the roster who was 19 and fit that rule, and they had to forfeit their first two games against West Effort and Haddon Heights.
I talked to Coach Jim Boyd before the game. The team was kind of devastated by the news on Thursday. However, they regrouped well, had a good practice Thursday, and even a better one on Friday. So they think they're ready for this football game today. On the other side of the coin, Sean, Pauls were missing one of the best players in all of South Jersey, Troy Bennett, today.
Yeah, they're going to miss Troy Bennett, but I think this is going to be a rallying cry for Paulsboro. I believe that they're going to stick together and come together and be able to play a game without Troy Bennett and be successful today.
Of course, Paulsboro has revenge on its mind today. A year ago, Woodbury ended the epic 63-game Paulsboro High School winning streak that set an NJSIAA state record. We got a great one coming up for you. Paulsboro and Woodbury right after this. Colonial Conference football, Woodbury and Paulsboro, one of the most storied rivalries in all of South Jersey, dating way back to the 1920s. Number 44, Troy Bennett, will not play today for the Paulsboro Red Raiders. How about that injury, Sean?
Yeah, he sprained his medial collateral ligament, and he's going to be out for just this game. He's chomping at the bit to get in there. It's a shame that a game like this magnitude is going to miss someone like Troy Bennett.
No, he wants to play, but I think an intelligent decision to not allow him to play today.
Yeah, I went to the practice yesterday, and you could see he was having trouble bending over, leaning on that knee. I don't think he has a whole lot of support. So that's something where you got to take precaution. You don't want to injure him and have him ruin his career or at least for the rest of the season.
Not only one of the best football players in the state, but one of the best wrestlers in the state. Terrific all-around athlete, Troy Bennett. They'll miss him today, but we should have a good one. Woodbury kicking off to Paulsboro. Nice crowd on hand at Paulsboro High School. And of course, Woodbury coming into this game 0-2 instead of 2-0 as they were up to Thursday. Late day Thursday, Jim Boyd, the head coach, discovered the eligibility problem. And Woodbury, facing up to its mistake, notified the NJSIAA office and forfeited its first two games of the season, both wins.
You got to respect what Grant Shivers did. He came out and took full responsibility for Woodbury.
And a short kickoff and downed at the 32-yard line by Tom Giorgiani of Paulsboro High School. So the Red Raiders with the first possession of the football game, and they'll have good field position. Paulsboro very impressive in its first two games this year, John, even though they're a very young football team. 28 freshmen and sophomores on this lineup roster.
Yeah, they expect to be very solid for the next 2 years. They have some really good backs, and we'll get into that later in the game.
Deontay Ruffin running the attack for the Red Raiders, and he's been impressive in the first couple of games of the season from their traditional power high offense. 1st and 10, first play of the ball game. And the pitch to Scott, and Scott going absolutely nowhere, trying to skirt the left end. Lost on the play, back to the 30-yard line, loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 30-yard line.
That's one thing Woodbury wants to take away from Paulsboro is the ability to get outside. Both teams want to play defensively. They want the teams to run inside, opposing offense.
Off the line.
Woodbury with a very solid defensive unit. They've been tough defensively the last couple of years. Ruffin to throw, chased out of the pocket, fires it, and good catch. Incompleted pass. Nice diving effort on the play by Harris Cooper, but incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 12 for the Red Raiders. Paulsboro with 2 huge scoring games in its first 2 contests of the season. Probably will not be as successful piling up the points today against Woodbury.
Yeah, they scored 94 points in their first 2 games. Anthony Scott with 5 touchdowns.
3rd down and 12. Ruffin in a probable passing situation. Hampton, the receiver, split to the right side. Resets the backs. Ruffin to throw. Good protection. Fires it deep. And it's intercepted by Marcus Money down the left sidelines, knocked out of bounds, but Woodbury with the first break of the football game on an interception by Marcus Money, and Woodbury deep in Paulsboro territory here early in the first period.
Yeah, Ruffin forced that throw into double coverage. Money with excellent hands. He's the quarterback for Woodbury, and they're going to start in excellent field position.
There's a penalty, and they're calling the Woodbury captain to go against Paulsboro, so perhaps additional yardage tacked on as the interception was taken down to about the 9-yard line by Money.
Holding. And the offense refused. 1st down.
John Finelli making the call.
You see here, Ruffin drops back. He's going to force this ball into double coverage. Money there with the nice hands.
That's why they have the tipping drill, Sean. Woodbury comes up with the first big break of the football game, and they have a 1st and goal at the Paulsboro 9-yard line with 11:12 to play in the first period, so just inside the first minute, Woodbury knocking at Paulsboro's door on the turnover. Money has been improving the first 2 games.
And this is where they like to run that fade to Giles.
1st and goal. Nelson with the carry. Penalty marker is down. Arlo Nelson with the carry. Penalty against the Thundering Herd. The advance was to the 7, a 2-yard gain, but Paulsboro apparently will take this penalty.
That's the kind of things that'll drive Jim Boyd crazy.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5 yards, previous spot, 1st down.
So a 5-yard step off against the Thundering Herd back to the 14. 1st and goal from the 14-yard line. Wishbone attack, familiar offense for the Thundering Herd. Nelson with the carry again, breaks 1 tackle and slides down to about the 11, a gain of about 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 11. Paulsboro with revenge on its mind today. Woodbury upsetting the Red Raiders last year to break that epic 63-game winning streak by Paulsboro that started during the Kevin Harvey years. Allen the dare. Nelson, the back's behind Money. Money rolling right, fires it, has a man temporarily open, but he overshoots him. And it'll be 3rd down. The intended receiver was Giles, Matt Giles.
And it looked like he had him there for a second, because he was trying to roll out and give himself a little bit more time.
The 3rd down and goal. If Woodbury doesn't score here, there's a possibility we would see Tim Anderson, their sophomore kicker, who has certainly has the range to kick a field goal from this spot. 10:04 to play. First period, no score, but Woodbury threatening. Big 3rd down call for Money. Money with good protection, fires it, completes it. Some running room for Giles, busting his way down inside the 5 to about the 3 or 4 yard line. So a nice, well-designed play. Matt Giles, one of the finest receivers in the area, with the catch and a pickup of about 9. And that brings up an interesting 4th down and goal call at about the 3 yard line.
That's that split end screen they talked about. They just implemented that in the offense this week. And the linemen get a breakdown field, and they throw that quick screen to Giles or Arthur Lewis on the other side.
Allen, the lone back behind Money. Money rolling right. Money fires it, and touchdown. Touchdown, Woodbury. Great throw by Money.
Chuck Adair
with the catch, the 3-yard scoring pass from Marcus Money, and Woodbury strikes first at 9:10 of the first quarter to lead 6-0 on a well-designed 4th and goal play. Tim Anderson will try to make it 7-0. High snap. Okay, get the point. Good job by the holder on the play. Jacob Bowe with the hold. Excellent play by him on the high snap.
Bob, that was a really nice job for Adair. It looked like he stumbled and almost lost his feet, but regained his balance. And he was open for a few seconds.
So Jim Boyd, a happy man here in the early moments of the first quarter. Woodbury with the interception by Marcus Money, and then Money with the touchdown pass to Adair for the 6 points.
And you don't see it here, but Adair stumbles on the play, but is able to get open.
He fired that pass off balance, made a perfect throw to Adair. That's a great play by Money. So Money with 2 huge plays here in the early moments, and Woodbury leads 7-0.
And Bob, it was Adair this week that really rallied the troops together on Thursday and Friday. He was the one that stepped up and said, we got to come together. We can't let this bother us. We got to just take it and move on regarding the 0-2 start.
Mark McGilvery, the kickoff man for Woodbury High. Woodbury up 7-0. Better kick this time. Taken at about the 26-yard line. One of the big linemen, and a nice return to the 35, so the Red Raiders will have pretty good field position again. Nice play on the return by Paul Mowat. I'm sorry, by Billy Damask of Paulsboro. So the Red Raiders with their second possession. The first one resulted in a turnover on an interception. 9:03 to play in the first. Woodbury with a quick 7-0 lead.
Murphin's got to come up here and put that interception behind him. Just run the offense. Let them great backs do the work.
Nothing doing up the middle. Ball is loose, but the play had been blown dead.
But there's David Paterno. He's filling in for Ruffin. Did a really good job last week. He scrambled for 31 yards and a touchdown, a 31-yard touchdown last week.
Paterno Jr., second down and still 10. No gain on the play. And nothing doing as Ruffin looks like he might have had a little trouble with the handoff. Gets it up to about the 36 for a 1-yard gain. Actually a little less than a yard. So it'll be third down and a long 9 for the Red Raiders, who are struggling early.
That looked like a premature snap from the center. The only thing Ruffin could do was just take the ball ahead. This is a situation Paulsboro doesn't want to be in, 3rd and long, where Woodbury's expecting the pass and can set up with their safeties and corners.
Scott and Paterno, the backs behind Deontay Ruffin, on a 3rd down and long. Ruffin fakes the handoff, fires it, and it's completed. A good pass by Ruffin. He breaks a tackle. Hampton still on his feet. Boy, that was a great throw by Ruffin, and a nice reception by Lonnie Hampton, a junior, breaks a couple of tackles and gets a first down for Paulsboro at the Woodbury 27-yard line.
What a nice throw by Ruffin. That thing was right in the line. He gave Hampton the ability to run after the catch.
So the Red Raiders trying to answer the Woodbury touchdown. First and 10. Scott with the pitch. It's a halfback pitch. Oh, another interception. How about this play? Wow. Interception by Vincent Allen. The second interception. A trick play. A halfback pass results in another interception by Woodbury. This one is at the 7:03 mark. So in the first 5 minutes of the football game, Woodbury has intercepted Paulsboro twice, Sean.
Yeah, that's a poor decision from Scott to throw that football. Woodbury read that play and sniffed it out. The best thing he could have done was just thrown the ball away.
So Woodbury gets its second turnover of the first part of the first quarter here, and the Thundering Herd gets it back at their own 26-yard line. And a big gainer to Hampton from Ruffin. This winds up good yardage in the statistics and nothing else. Money fires it, and it's high. The intended receiver was Matt Giles. It'll be second down and 10. We saw Giles make a couple of important catches in Woodbury's tight win over West Deptford a couple of weeks ago, Sean, and he appears to be a favorite target of Money's again today.
Yeah, he's an all-conference wide receiver.
Penalty against Woodbury.
And they have two good receivers, Arthur Lewis on the other side. Both of them good hands.
On the offense, refused, second down.
So motion penalty is refused. That'll make it second down and 10 for Woodbury at its 26-yard line.
That's something you're going to see a lot of Woodbury in this game, is they're going to try to pass the ball. Giles and Lewis has an advantage over the smallest corners of the Paulsboro Red Raiders.
Pitch to Nelson. Nelson's slipping around for a couple of yards to about the 27-yard line. Short gain in the play by Nelson. And it'll create a third down and 8 for the Thundering Herd of Woodbury High School. Colonial Conference football, Paulsboro trying to remain undefeated at 3-0, and Woodbury trying to shake off the effects of losing 2 games without playing a down this week via forfeit. This would be a huge win for Woodbury if they can pull this victory off today. Third and 8. Money fires it off balance, and it's completed. A great catch in traffic by Arlo Nelson on a ball that was kind of thrown up for grabs, but a good throw nonetheless by Money, and a terrific catch by Nelson, and Woodbury with a first down at the 48-yard line.
And there you see
how about that catch by Nelson?
Oh, that's a nice catch by Nelson, but there you see the ability of Money. Rolling out, throwing back across his body, able to hit Nelson. He also had Chuckadero open on the flat.
So Nelson, or Marcus Money, having a memorable first quarter, offensively and defensively. Fires it over the middle. Nearly a one-handed catch. Arthur Lewis, the intended receiver, he almost pulled that one down with one arm. Second down and 10, and Woodbury's game plan obviously is to throw the football. They feel that they can successfully launch an air attack today against this Red Raiders secondary, and they proved it here in the first quarter.
Both their receivers are 6'2" and 6'3". Paulsboro, both their cornerbacks, don't come near 6 foot, so they're attacking that part of the game.
Money loses a handle and will lose yardage as well. Money's lost back to the 46-yard line. Loss of 2, it'll be third down and 12. 5:25 to play first period. And Woodbury, via 2 interceptions, is in control of the football game here in the first quarter. Paulsboro playing today without Troy Bennett. It's a terrific two-way player. Expected back for next week's game. They're showing blitz. Money gets some pressure, fires it, and is it almost picked off by Paulsboro. Harris Cooper with a good play, almost picked that one off, and this will force a Woodbury punt.
And that was an ill-advised pass by Money. Gets over to that sideline. It's going to go in his ear not to throw that ball away if he has, or not to throw the ball into coverage. If he has to, just eat it and throw the ball away, especially with a 7-point lead here early in the first quarter.
Tim Rivera, the punter for Woodbury. It's a pretty good punt off, and it's dropped, and I believe Paulsboro covers. Almost another mistake by the Red Raiders, who already have been guilty of 2 turnovers here in the first quarter. It'll be first down and 10 for the Red Raiders, and they will start this possession from their own 21-yard line. Paulsboro with 1 first down here in the first quarter, but 2 lost interceptions. 4:40 to play first quarter, 7-0 Woodbury. Ruffin at the controls for the Red Raiders. I believe Paulsboro will be guilty of this infraction.
Paulsboro really shooting itself in the foot here in the first quarter.
5-yard procedure penalty against the Red Raiders.
Good football foul. False start on the offense. We'll replay first down.
John Finelli making the call. Second game we've had him as referee on Comcast Channel 43 this year. First down and 15 for Paulsboro. Have difficulty getting their running game on track, and they have, again, a fleet of good young backs on this Red Raider team. Scott with the carry. Scott with some pretty good yardage before he's pushed out of bounds. Giles with a good play defensively.
Giles on the tackle.
And the advance to the 22-yard line, where it'll be second down and about 9 for the Red Raiders. 4:31 left first quarter.
That's one of the things Woodbury doesn't want to do. They want to have Scott contained to the inside. They don't want to let him get out and use his speed.
Second and 9. The pitch and some room for Scott. Finally tackled in the open field, and a good play by Rivera. That play could still be going. But a first down pickup on a nice carry by Anthony Scott. The 34-yard line, pickup of 12 on the play, and that's the second first down for the Red Raiders here in the first.
And that was a nice fake by David Paterno, faking the handoff there. Woodbury bid for the fake, and Scott was able to get outside.
Scott has some room. Woodbury's interior defense up to the task. The first tackler was Robert Duffield. He had a lot of help on the play. Gain of about a yard, second down and 9, ball at the 35-yard line. Nice crowd on hand on absolutely a perfect day. We got to tell you about that wager between the mayor of Paulsboro, John Berzicelli, and the mayor of Woodbury, Don Sanderson, that will result in some activities later in the day here in Gloucester County. Ruffin chased out of the pocket. Does a nice job. Great job. Paterno's still on his feet down the right sideline. What a run by Paterno. Finally tripped up by Allen. But that was a wonderful job by Deontay Ruffin, because he got tremendous pressure in the pocket and made a lot out of nothing.
There you see the athletic ability of Ruffin, able to scramble and make something happen. You see here, Ruffin able to get out of the pocket, find Paterna, and another nice pass.
What a nice run by Paterna, huh?
Nice run by Paterna, but Ruffin was able to put it on his hands and give him the ability to move after the catch.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line. Scott trying to find a hole, slips off of one tackler. Finally pulled down. Arlo Nelson with the nice play defensively, gain on the play of a couple to about the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Red Raiders with 2:25 to play in the first quarter, and Woodbury the leader at 7-0.
Paulsboro able to move the football a little bit. A couple of nice pass plays by Ruffin. You get to make the big play, get into the end zone.
Ruffin, Scott again. Scott picking his way, gets some decent yardage inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line, but it'll be 3rd down for Paulsboro and about 4.5, 5 yards to go for a first down. But they are in 4-down territory. Minute 45 to play first quarter.
There you see Scott totaled 198 yards in the first 2 games. Again, 5 touchdowns already on the season, so he knows how to get into the end zone.
Ruffin with the pitch to Scott, drops the football. I believe it's covered by the Red Raiders, but nearly another miscue by Paulsboro. It was covered nicely by Lionel Sharper. But it's 4th down and about 7 for Paulsboro, and the ball at the 30-yard line. So Coach Glenn Howard needs a big play here. Jim Boyd across the way. And there's Coach Howard. What an incredible record he has compiled as head football coach at his alma mater, Paulsboro High School. Big 4th down play. Ruffin. Looks like a little quarterback draw, still on his feet. Ball loose again. But he didn't get the first down anyway, so it's going to turn over to Woodbury, I believe.
Well, he's just trying to make something happen there and lost control of the football.
Looked like a quarterback draw, perhaps a design play, but it's just short of the first down at the 25, and Woodbury will take over. 34 seconds left here in the first quarter.
That's the 3rd time that Paulsboro has put the ball on the grass.
We'll take time out from Paulsboro High School. It's Woodbury 7 and Paulsboro nothing. On the Underwood Memorial Hospital scoreboard, it's Woodbury 7, Paulsboro nothing. Bob Schrack along with Sean Leary. Late stages of the first quarter, the injured Paulsboro player Anthony Scott, apparently okay, walked off under his own power. So Woodbury, after a good defensive stop, takes control at its own 25-yard line. Could be the final play of the first quarter.
Get up!
The carry by Nelson. Very little doing. Tom Giorgiani with the stop for the Red Raiders. Pickup of maybe a half a yard on a play. 18 seconds to go. The Thundering Herd may get this play off.
Paulsboro's done a good job stopping the run. Only 5 yards thus far. Woodbury on the ground, but they've been attacking through the air. Marcus Money doing an outstanding job, and that's a little scary. Marcus Money, he says he's a second-half player.
So Woodbury does not get the play off before the end of the first quarter, but Woodbury in control on the Underwood Memorial Hospital scoreboard. The score is Woodbury High School 7 and Paulsboro nothing. We'll be back after this. Oh, Paulsboro High School cheerleader. That's Jennifer O'Leary, who happens to be the niece of none other than John Mondelli. I wonder if she admits that to anybody, Sean. What do you think?
I wouldn't. Nah, I'm just kidding. John's a great guy. He's my friend, and I admit it to everyone. I always say John Mondelli is one of the great guys who covers sports in this area and does a great job.
Oh, Sean,
with
come on.
High School Sports Report. We're still waiting on the lunch, of course.
2nd down and 9 as we start the second quarter. Woodbury in possession. Nelson with the carry, diving for a yard or two, but not a whole lot doing. He advanced to about the 30-yard line, where it'll bring up a 3rd down for the Thundering Herd and 5 yards to go for a 1st down.
John Mondelli and I had a bet with the Clearview Kingsway game. Of course, Kingsway won that game. We had that here on Comcast. And you have to take him to lunch. I offer to take him to some of the finest restaurants in the Gloucester County area. He declines every time.
No kidding.
He doesn't have the time.
Watching his weight. Big 3rd down play for the Thundering Herd. Money to throw. Getting a big rush. Still on his feet. Fires it. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Matt Giles. So a good job defensively by Paulsboro, and Woodbury will have to punt.
And that kind of play there, even though it goes for no yards, that's going to make money from a good player into a really a great player. He has the arm strength. He has the ability to run and scramble. Not as good as a runner as Ryan Kent was last year for Woodbury. But those decisions not to make the poor pass and the interception, those stick in the minds of people watching, and also, of course, Jim Boyd, coach of Woodbury.
Rivera, the punter. Lionel, and the ball is over his head, but I thought he had a chance to punt it and get something off amazingly. Look at this. What an amazing job by the punter, Tim Rivera, when it looked like he was going to be trapped and Paulsboro was going to have possession deep in Woodbury territory. He manages somehow to get a grounder off to midfield. That was quite a play by Rivera.
Well, he had time initially.
I know he did. I don't know why he didn't punt it initially, yeah.
But an outstanding job by Rivera just to get the punt off.
But Paulsboro with great field position at midfield. So the Raiders scoring in the 40s in each of its first 2 victories, not on the scoreboard so far today. Paulsboro's coaching staff.
Thank you, guys. Back up.
Ruffin keeps the football, has some good yardage, gets it across the 45-yard line to about the 43. Anthony Scott, by the way, back in the football game. He's okay. So nice job of improvising by Ruffin. A pickup of almost 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and a long 3 for the Red Raiders. Woodbury has been tough defensively so far, keyed, of course, by those 2 interceptions. Scott has some room and is, I believe, able to get the 1st down at about the 40. Looks like they're going to bend. No, they're not. There's a 1st down signaled by referee John Finelli. So the Red Raiders with a 1st and 10 at the Woodbury 40-yard line.
Scott doing a pretty good job with 29 yards, 7 carries. But he's picking up tough yards, getting hit and falling forward as opposed to getting pushed back.
Paterna over the right side. Paterna breaking tackles. Good job by Paterna. Then he pulled backwards. But the advance will be to about the 34. So a couple of times here in the first half, Dave Paterna showing some ability to shed tacklers.
Yeah, and of course, he doesn't have the power that Bennett possesses, but he has a little bit better speed. Gets to a hole a little bit quicker. And Boyd was concerned with how he was going to play as fullback and also linebacker with the speed element, as opposed to the power of Bennett.
Nice 6-yard pickup by Paterna, 2nd down and 4, ball at the 34. Ruffin chased out of the pocket. Ruffin has some room to run. He's going to keep the football. Tackled, pushed out of bounds, but not before a nice 1st down pickup by Ruffin. The defensive play made by Chuck Adair, the touchdown maker for Woodbury, but a 1st down carry to the 19-yard line.
That was by far Woodbury's biggest run of the day. They haven't been able to get anything on the ground.
Now there's a timeout on the field with 9 minutes exactly to play here in the first half, and Woodbury doing top 7-0. We'll take a break from Paulsboro High School. Jim Boyd, the Woodbury High School football coach, showing a little concern as Paulsboro has its deepest penetration of the first half. What a great job both of these coaches have done at their respective high schools. Glenn Howard at Paulsboro High School, the winningest coach percentage-wise in his time frame, I think, in the history of South Jersey football. Former great player here at Paulsboro High, then at the University of Minnesota, and played some professional football at linebacker with the old Philadelphia Stars of the USFL. Paulsboro with the 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Woodbury blitzes, and it's going to pay off in a loss by Scott as Vincent Allen is in on the play first. But he gets a lot of help also there as Kanan Noon, who had part of the tackle. And the loss all the way back to the 25-yard line, loss of 6. So it's 2nd down and 16.
Paulsboro's been trying to attack the middle of that Woodbury defense. Kanan Noon and C.J. Maurer, two outstanding defensive tackles, have been up to that challenge.
Ruffin, deep drop, chased out of the pocket again. Breaks a couple of tackles, has some room. Has great speed still on his feet, and what a tremendous job of improvising by Deontay Ruffin, finally tackled by Vincent Allen, but it looked like he was going to be trapped for a loss. Instead, his advance near the 1st down at the 9-yard line.
That's another concern. You knew Ruffin is an outstanding runner, and he was more afraid of his running ability than his passing ability. Obviously, Ruffin can go deep. And here's the play again. Ruffin making some plays here, scrambling around.
Look how many guys he avoids. 5 or 6 would-be tacklers, and it is a 1st down pickup by Deontay Ruffin. Ruffin does that pretty much on his own, Sean. A 16-yard gain for the 1st down, and it'll be 1st down and goal for Paulsboro at the 9-yard line.
He's had a couple of nice runs of 14, 21, and 17 thus far in the first half.
7:50 to play in the first half. 7-0 Woodbury, but Paulsboro with its best scoring opportunity. Paterna, Scott, the backs behind Ruffin. 2 receivers split to the near side. Ruffin gets another broken tackle. Scott, but no, he's not going to break this one by Marcus Money. What a huge number of plays Money has been involved in here in the first half, both offense and defense, and he makes a big tackle for a loss here back to the 16. So a loss on the play of about 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd down and goal from the 16. Big play by Money.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Money. Woodbury planning on for Paulsboro to attack that weak side, and Chucky Adair. There they go to the strong side, and nothing's been doing on that strong side. Woodbury doing a really good job on defense.
Ruffin rolling right, fires it. Nearly picked off again. And that'll be 3rd down and goal at the 16. Completed pass. Looked like Lonnie Hampton, the receiver to the near side, might have been open on that play. Maybe a timeout here for a Woodbury equipment repair, perhaps. So it was 1st down and goal at the 9. Now it's 3rd down and goal at the 16. Paulsboro needs a big play.
They have an outstanding kicker, James Funk. So they don't want to give up. They've already committed 3 turnovers thus far in the first half. They don't want to commit another turnover here. Force anything.
The ball is loose, and I believe Woodbury is covered. We're just talking about turnovers. Is this another one? And it is another turnover against Paulsboro. It's been a tough first half for the Red Raiders, who are not known to be a mistake-prone football team, but they are a very young team, Sean.
Very young, and you can see their inexperience with now 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. They've actually put the ball on the grass 4 times here. Still early in the second quarter with 6 minutes and 39 seconds left.
So Woodbury holds and gets a turnover, so they take possession at their own 18-yard line. Woodbury with that vaunted wishbone attack that's been around Woodbury High School for a lot of years. Nelson picking his way. Nelson, good run. He's advanced to about the 22-yard line.
Now, conversely, on defense for Paulsboro, what they want to do is anytime Money takes that option, they're going to want to hit him. He's the first time that he's quarterbacked here in his senior year. He's only had 2 games under his belt, and they want to hit him a couple times and see if he doesn't cough up the football. So far, he's done a good job.
Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 for the Thundering Herd. Movement, one of the Woodbury backs moved before the play started, and
that's going to come back. Despite the 4 turnovers by Paulsboro, Woodbury with only 7 points, so the Paulsboro defense has done a pretty good job stopping Woodbury, prohibiting them from making big plays.
so this will cost Woodbury 5.
Legal motion on the offense, 5 yards, previous spot, will replay 2nd down.
They'll make it a 2nd down and 11 call for Marcus Money and his Woodbury offense. Ball back at the 16. And Money loses the handle. Manages to come up with it and dive ahead for a couple of yards. But that'll make a 3rd and long situation for Woodbury. Money gets it up to about the 19-yard line. 3rd down and a little less than 10 for the visitors from Woodbury.
And you wonder there, David Boyd, son of Jim, making his first start today at center. If he didn't lose the exchange there, or if Money just came out too early from his crouch.
Big 3rd down call. Money getting a rush, forced out of the pocket, breaks a tackle, goes deep. Oh, what a catch! A tremendous catch on a tip ball by Tim Rivera. That one up for grabs. Money makes a great, but there was triple coverage on 2 receivers for Woodbury, and Tim Rivera with a tremendous play, getting the ball down to the 38-yard line.
Nice play by Money. They're able to scramble. You're going to see him here. He's going to scramble outside. Almost gets sacked there, eludes a tackler. Just basically throws the ball for grabs, but with these taller Woodbury receivers, Tim Rivera with an excellent catch.
38-yard pass completion to Rivera, who makes a circus catch, and Woodbury with a 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. 4:35 to play in the first half, and Marcus Money has had quite a half.
They're attacking those small cornerbacks, 5'8" and 5'7", Karis Cooper and Lionel Sharper. Can't match up with the 6'2", 6'3" wide receivers of Woodbury.
Delay a game call against the Thundering Herd. Jim Boyd won't like that. That'll cost him 5.
Delay game on the offense, 5 yards, previous spot.
No, it'll be 1st down and 15 for Woodbury. What a play by Tim Rivera, play of the game. From the pocket, goes deep, and almost intercepted. Nice double coverage that time by Ruffin and by Karis Cooper on the intended receiver, Matt Giles.
And Ruffin had that all the way. Karis Cooper kind of got it in the way a little bit. Ruffin, even though he's the quarterback, probably the best secondary man. He has great hands, sees the field well. He makes a lot of plays on the defense.
Here we go, Trent!
2nd and 15 from the 43-yard line. Single back set behind Marcus Money. 3 receivers to the far side. And now rolling left as Money goes deep. Has Giles momentarily open and incompleted. Good defensive play by Preston Paulson, a sophomore. We talked about that before. On this Paulsboro roster, a total of 28 freshmen and sophomores. Of course, that's been one of the keys to Paulsboro's success over many years, its ability to get younger players experience in their freshman and sophomore years. So we were talking to some people on the sideline familiar with the Paulsboro program before the game, and they think this may not be a great Paulsboro team this year, but they'll wait till next year and the year after.
Yeah, they got some outstanding players coming up, and we'll get to one in a little bit.
3rd down and 15. 4:16 to play in the half. Money getting a big rush, and he'll go down. Huge defensive play by Mike Mendenhall, one of those sophomores we were talking about, with a huge play, getting a great rush, pushing Woodbury all the way back to the 46-yard line, and an injured Woodbury player is down at about the 30-yard line.
That looks like Chuck Adair.
Watch this pressure. Boy, that's a tremendous play. What speed shown by Mike Mendenhall. We'll take time out from Paulsboro High School on the Underwood Memorial Hospital scoreboard. It's Woodbury 7, Paulsboro nothing. Well, a lot of concern, obviously, for Chuck Adair, the touchdown maker for Woodbury. Terrific two-way player for the Thundering Herd, is limping off the field with help from a couple of the coaches.
More importantly, Chuck Adair is the leader of this team. As I said earlier, he's the one that came in on Thursday and said, hey, forget about these 2 losses. Forget what's happened. Let's just move on and play football.
Sharper deep to receive Rivera's punt. Sharper back at about his own 28-yard line. Paulsboro would love to get one on the board here before halftime. Nice punt by Rivera. Look at this punt. Look at this punt. This is going to get down inside the 5. Tremendous punt by Tim Rivera. And Paulsboro will have to start this possession from its 2-yard line. An extremely dangerous spot on the field. Sharper probably should have thought of fair catching that ball, Sean, but he had to retreat on it. It was kicked so well by Rivera.
Yeah, I think he did the right job there. He was backing up on the play, and he's already laid one down, was able to recover that one. Mark McGilberry, injured Woodbury player, on the field.
Hold on, guys, hold on!
Another Woodbury injury back at about the 45-yard line.
But an outstanding punt from Tim Rivera. But you've seen there, Woodbury's been concerned with their long snapper.
That was a 53-yard punt by Rivera.
If Rivera has the time, he's going to get up some nice punts. Really nice kicking game for both sides.
3:47 left in the first half, and it's been a difficult first half for the Red Raiders, but there's still so much in the football game. Down to 7-0. The Red Raider cheerleaders are trying to catch a spark here. Woodbury, the Paulsboro crowd, very quiet so far today, Sean. You usually don't see that. And the Woodbury fans across the way on this sun-splashed Saturday morning in Gloucester County. I wanted to talk about that bet I was mentioning. Sean, of course, Eye on Paulsboro, one of the great shows on Channel 43, has been for 10 years. The program celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. Mayor Sanderson of Woodbury came on the program this week, and Versacelli, the mayor of Paulsboro, and Sanderson agreed to bet on today's game. The losing mayor in today's game must walk tonight in the Woodbury Fall Festival Parade in a barrel. They did the same thing last year, and of course that was the game that Woodbury ended Paulsboro's 63-game winning streak, and that night John Versacelli had the walk in the barrel, and he said tonight he hopes it's Sanderson's turn in the barrel.
It's a little bit more on the line than a lunch.
Chuck Adair, who was injured on his feet, limping, so we don't know whether we're going to see him again, but he is a key player in this Thundering Herd team. Now the other injured Woodbury player, Mark McGilberry, a sophomore, is walking slowly off the field with help from the coaches. So that's 2 Woodbury key injuries in the last couple of plays. Back to action. Paulsboro starts from his 2-yard line. This is a very dangerous position. They do not want to give up any points, any more points at this point in the first half. 3:47 to go.
Bob already with 4 turnovers. This is a spot on the field where they must hold the ball. They can't afford to make a mistake here and give Woodbury a bigger lead.
Now, if Woodbury is able to hold on this first series and force the punt, the Thundering Herd is going to get great field position before halftime with a chance to go up 2 scores.
With 3:47 left on the clock and money's arm, it would be a possibility. Obviously, Paulsboro is going to want to hold on to the ball here and maybe make something happen. Yet to make the big play. Ruffin's done an outstanding job making some things happen with his scrambling ability.
Ruffin the quarterback. Scott and Paterna the backs behind him. Paterna gets the carry and gets some nice yardage. I'm impressed with him here in the first half. His advance out to about the 7-yard line. 5 big yards for the Red Raiders. And he looks like a pretty good backup at that position, Sean.
Yeah, that's what Boyd was saying. Now, this Doug Paterna, he could come in and start for probably half a dozen teams in the Colonial Conference. Actually, his name's Dave Paterna. He can come in and start for just about any other team. But behind Bennett, he's stuck there at least till the end of this year.
Got almost 5 in the play. 2nd down and about 5.5 yards. Gets the call again, and this time the center of the Woodbury defense not allowing a whole lot. Noon in on the tackle. Plenty of help on the play. C.J. Maurer, 270-pounder, a veteran on this ball club, part of the tackle. So it's 3rd down and about 7, and this becomes a big play for both teams. 2:50 to go with the clock running. Woodbury wants a stop right here. Conversely, Paulsboro needs to keep control of the football, else otherwise they're going to give Woodbury great field position.
Yeah, this will be an interesting call by Glenn Howard. I would think he would want to run some more time off the clock, not give Money as much time.
Up and rolling right, dangerous play, and the pass is completed, but it will be short of the first down, and Woodbury's defense completes its mission, forcing another Red Raider punt. So the pass was completed to Hampton. He got a couple of yards.
That's a smart call there. You're giving the opportunity to still get a first down, but it's a high percentage pass play.
Penalty marker. Oh, it's a holding call against Paulsboro. I would imagine Woodbury would decline here and take the play and force the punt.
Sure, with 2 minutes and 19 seconds left.
Even though a step-off would put Paulsboro back inside the 5-yard line and perhaps force a punt, the punter to go near the end of the end zone.
Tight punt. Let's go.
Holding. But the offense refused. 1st down.
The right call. Paulsboro is going to get out of this, or going to punt, and Woodbury is going to get out of this with real good field position. James Funk, all-purpose kicker for the Red Raiders. He's a good one here.
He has the ability to get off a good one. He had probably about a 55-yard punt in practice yesterday.
Good snap. Big rush. End-over-end kick. And this takes a great Paulsboro bounce, picked up by Rivera at midfield. Breaks 1 tackle, but not the 2nd and the 3rd. Nice coverage downfield by the Red Raider special teams. So a nice job by Funk. He gets off about a 43-yarder. And Woodbury with good field position, but not as good as they anticipated. 1:50 to go, and they're right at midfield.
Nice kick. 150. Expect Woodbury to put the ball in the air. Money trying to find those receivers. Matt Giles, Arthur Lewis.
So Woodbury would love to go into halftime with a 2-touchdown lead.
Here comes. Peter, watch it. Here comes.
Moving that guy.
Money.
Get up, Phil.
Good protection this time. He fires it. Incompleted pass. Late penalty marker is thrown. This is a late one. Looked like there was some contact on Rivera, but it looked incidental. Let's see what the call is.
It looks like he got tangled up with Lionel Sharper. I believe they're going to get Sharper for pass interference. That was a late flag.
Officials talking it over. The crew chief, the referee, John Finelli.
Got illegal shift on the offense, pass interference on the defense, double foul, we'll replay the down.
Well, you heard it. Fouls both ways, so it'll still be first down and 10 at midfield with 1:43 left.
Got single coverage with Lionel Sharper, Matt Giles.
Giles, dangerous receiver. They're trying towards Giles, and nice defensive play. Excellent job of timing the hit by Deontay Ruffin, and I think that caused Giles to miss the pass. That was a great throw by Money.
Yeah, that ball was on the money. There's another no pun intended.
We did that one last week.
We did that last week, and I believe we're going to do it again. But that ball was right there, and I believe Giles should have came up with that football.
Good throw by Money, good position by Giles, and an excellent defensive play by Ruffin, who made the hit at precisely the right moment. A split second sooner, and it would have been pass interference. Woodbury with receivers to the near side, 2 and 1 to the far side. Second down and 10. Money has good protection, fires it, looking for Giles. Giles tries a circus catch, but nice coverage again by the Raiders. And right back in on another play is Ruffin, also helping out Karis Cooper. So the Paulsboro defensive secondary under siege today, Sean, as obviously Woodbury's game plan is to throw the football.
Yeah, they came out. They wanted to establish the pass. Boyd said it's not going to be uncommon for them to throw the ball about 20 times. Woodbury used to throw it about 10 to 15 times a game. But they said this year with Money's arm, he'll throw the ball approximately 20 times a game.
And he'll probably throw it here. Third down and 10, ball at midfield. Money has some room. Money gets the first down. A great job by Marcus Money. What a first half he's had. He's a touchdown club back of the week candidate, I think, just on the basis of what he's done in the first half today, Sean. Both ways.
He's done a great job, and Bobby told me he's a second half player. He likes to gain a little bit of control in the second half and see how the game develops.
We'll take timeout from Paulsboro High School as Woodbury calls a timeout. The score, Thundering Herd 7, Red Raiders nothing.
Let's go, Dave!
Red Raider cheerleaders haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here in the first half, although their team's still very much in the football game. Marcus Money with an improvised 13-yard first down run to the 37-yard line, and with 1 minute 19 seconds to play in the half, still a good chance for the Thundering Herd. That is Wee Willie Murray, I believe, the assistant head coach at Paulsboro High School. All-state quarterback at 115 pounds when he was a senior at Woodbury High School in the early 60s. And Glenn Howard very much in this game, too. Money to throw. Money going deep. Has him open momentarily, but incompleted pass. Boy, they are going deep on just about every other play. Good throw again by Money, the intended receiver. This time on the opposite side was Arthur Lewis. Sean talked about how tall those receivers are at 6'2" and 6'3", and they're trying to take advantage, obviously, of the shorter corners for Paulsboro.
Basically what they're doing is they're just giving Money enough time to air that ball out, running fades and streaks, and giving the wide receivers the opportunity just to out-jump the smaller cornerbacks and the smaller secondary of Paulsboro.
They used 6 seconds on that play, minute 13 to go and a half. Second and 10, ball at the 37. Just about every play. Money goes deep again, going deep and nearly picked off in the end zone. The intended receiver this time was Giles, but Cooper right there again in good position for the Red Raiders.
And Cooper looked like he could have had that ball. Just wanted to make sure that he was able to knock it down. We've already seen the great hands from Woodbury.
I cannot recall seeing a Woodbury High School football game when they threw as much as this in the first half, Sean.
Yeah, that's what Boyd said. He's going to come out, he's going to fire the ball up. I think it's a good game plan against Paulsboro. Paulsboro can stop the running game. They've done a great job of that so far. So why not utilize one of your best players, Marcus Money, in the arm that he has?
Third and 10, ball at the 37. Anthony again to throw, dumps it out to Rivera. Rivera trying to elude tacklers, but the ball is loose. And the Red Raiders come up with it. They do. So a turnover this time against Woodbury as Rivera tried to battle for additional yardage. It cost him as the ball was knocked loose. And with 55 seconds to go in the half, the Red Raiders with an opportunity.
And it looked like Rivera was just trying to make something extra happen.
The third hit was caused the fumble.
Tony Marina able to strip that ball away. And Paulsboro's done a great job of not breaking here in this first half. 4 turnovers already in this game. They've only given up 7 points, making big stops on defense.
Just one back behind Ruffin. Ruffin will throw. Looking for the screen, but the forced out of the pocket and throws back against the grain, and Nelson with the good, well-timed hit on the intended receiver, Cooper. That'll be an incompleted pass and 2nd down and 10 from the 39-yard line.
We've seen early in this game in the first half, Ruffin has the ability to scramble and make plays happen there. He was just overshot his receiver, Karis Cooper.
45 seconds left in the half. Paulsboro has to get it down the field. They have to throw the football. Looking for the screen, but it's just thrown out of bounds as the intended receiver was Anthony Holloway. Be a 3rd down and 10. You got to give some credit to this Woodbury defense here in the first half too. Sean, you're talking about defending a team that had scored over 40 points in each of its first 2 games, and they've been shut out here in the first half.
Well, I think the thing they've done really well in this first half is held the run in check. Anthony Scott has yet to break one, and they've done a good job in that regard. Ruffin really making 3 plays on his own, scrambling around there, but overall, Woodbury's done an outstanding job defensively.
3rd and 10. Ruffin again. Good protection this time, but good coverage down in the secondary. Ruffin finally throws it and has a man open, and it's caught. Great catch by Preston Paulson. Will give Paulsboro life here with just 28 seconds to go in the half. Excuse me, no, correct, the receiver in that play was Karis Cooper, number 29, with a tremendous catch, and the advance to the 34-yard line, so Paulsboro is still with an opportunity here in the first half. They take time out.
Ruffin again rolling out, trying to make a play, finds Cooper, and Cooper with an outstanding job of holding on to the football after the big hit. Big hit laid there by Marcus Money.
So Paulsboro with a chance. Time for 3 or 4, maybe even 5 more plays with 28 seconds to go. And they'll be throwing on virtually every play now. Out on hand here at Paulsboro High School for one of the most traditional games in all of South Jersey. Troy Bennett unable to play today because of the injury that Sean talked about in the pregame. He's been a 4-year starter here at Paulsboro High School.
And they expect him back next week against Haddon Heights.
What, did he want to play today too?
David Paterna's done a really nice job filling in for him at linebacker and fullback. But you know Bennett's just itching to get out there.
It's hard to... Tom Curl, number 68, only a sophomore in the heavyweight division wrestling last year, finished 5th in the state as a freshman, and he is going to be some kind of awesome athlete here at Paulsboro High, out for the season.
And he'll start his rehab on Monday. Remove some cartilage in his leg.
Woodbury blitzing, and look at this play. Look at this tremendous play by Vincent Allen blitzing. And Ruffin with no chance whatsoever. The loss all the way back to the 46-yard line. Loss in the play of 10 yards, but that was a tremendous play by Vincent Allen, one of the senior leaders on this Woodbury team.
I'll tell you, he is one of the fastest linebackers in the Colonial Conference, if not South Jersey. He just explodes off that line. He's made a lot of plays this year in the backfield. One of the most memorable plays here early in the season was the big stop against West Effort in the first game. Last play of the game, West Effort had a chance to score at the 3-yard line. He made a big play on the last play of the game prohibit West Effort from winning that game.
That's right.
Of course, West Effort now, what we've talked about already, did end up getting the win via the forfeit. But Vincent Allen, one of the fastest linebackers you're going to see, Bob.
19 seconds to go in the half, and a huge 10-yard loss to Ruffin. So Glenn Howard, a little bit concerned. It's been kind of a difficult first half for the Red Raiders, although they're only down by 7.
Now they're going to have to get the ball downfield and out of bounds to even try for a field goal.
Ruffin gets a big rush, and he's going to get down again. Another big sack. In on the play first was number 8. We don't have a number 8 on our Woodbury roster, do we?
C.J. Maurer finished the play up, number 73.
But 8 was there first.
Number 8's the mystery guy.
So 2 huge losses in 2 plays in Paulsboro, all the way back to its own 47-yard line. When's the last time you saw a Paulsboro offense retreat in 2 plays the way they have on this drive? They got to get it all the way down to the 25-yard line for a first down.
They used their last time out.
So it'll be 3rd down and 28 for a first down. And only 9 seconds to go. So they have to be a little careful, I think, on this play, Sean. With the kind of first half they've had, the last thing they need is a disastrous interception that could be run back. I think at this point, Glenn Howard is probably saying, let's be careful, let's get into the locker room just down by 7 and regroup, because he is one terrific halftime coach. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah, I think you just sit on the ball here. I don't know if Ruffin has the arm strength to get it into the end zone, and if you don't get it in the end zone, what's the use? They're going to have 9 seconds to run this play, and obviously this will be the last play of the half. Why give Woodbury the chance to run it back? But maybe Ruffin will prove me wrong and reach the end zone here.
Ruffin getting a big rush again. There's that number 8, bounces off him. Goes deep, kind of a wobbly pass. And, goes through several fingers. If that's 0-0-0 in the clock, that should be the final play of the first half. A bit of a surprise from Paulsboro. Only the fact that there's only been 1 touchdown in the game on the Underwood Memorial Hospital scoreboard at halftime. Woodbury 7 and Paulsboro nothing. We'll be back. Colonial Conference football at Paulsboro High School. Woodbury 7, Paulsboro nothing. A turnover-plagued first half for Paulsboro. Woodbury taking advantage of one of those turnovers for the only score of the game. Sean Leary and Bob Shryack bringing you the action. Woodbury will receive the second half kickoff. James Funk kicking off for the Paulsboro Red Raiders, and Nelson, the deep man in the middle for the Thundering Herd. Good kick by Funk. Taken by Rivera at about the 10. Looking for running room. Well, makes a decent return up to about the 27-yard line. So the Thundering Herd with the first possession of the first half. It'll be interesting, Sean, to see whether they stick with that game plan of throwing the football on 3 out of 4 downs.
Well, they ended up throwing the football 14 times. Money, 5 for 14 with 74 yards passing. And he was able to get a couple passes off. But basically, he was just throwing the ball up for grabs and allowing his receivers to come down with it. A nice job by the Paulsboro corners to make some plays and prohibit Woodbury from making the big play.
So Woodbury trying to defeat Paulsboro for the 2nd consecutive season. The Thundering Herd ending the Paulsboro 63-game winning streak that made national headlines a year ago. Having some difficulty with the scoreboard clock, and they've reset it by 10 seconds to 11:55. So this is the first play of the second half. Marcus Money with a good first half for Woodbury. And the pitch to Nelson. Nelson breaks 1 tackle, but he won't break this one. Nice defensive play. Number 9, Lionel Sharper, one of those sophomores on this Red Raider football team, makes a fine defensive play. Only a gain of 1 yard on the play, 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, nice play by Sharper to not allow ball carrier to get outside. Woodbury with some good speed out there with Tim Rivera and Arlo Nelson.
Vincent Allen, the lone back set behind Marcus Money. 2nd and 9. Nelson in motion, and the pitch to Nelson. Nelson gets quickly to the corner, has some room down the right side, driven out of bounds. But a nice first down gain nonetheless by Nelson, who showed great speed getting to the corner.
Great speed by Nelson. Matt Giles with an outstanding block on that corner, allowing Nelson to pick up the first down.
Advance to the 36-yard line, gain of 9 on the play. 1st and 10, Thundering Herd.
Let's see Woodbury setting up a pass, setting up a run in the first half by coming out and passing. Let's see if they reverse that in this second half and come out running the football and set up the pass to Marcus Money.
Straight ahead ball is loose.
And it looks like Paulsboro has the football.
It has the football. And it's a big turnover taken by Paulsboro, which was victimized by 4 turnovers in the first half. They get a big one here, same as Woodbury did in the early stages of the first half.
And it looks like Money didn't get that football in the gut of Arlo Nelson.
So a great opportunity for Paulsboro there at the 36-yard line with a 1st down and 10 early here in the 3rd quarter.
That's a play Paulsboro needed early in the second half to get some confidence. They're unable to get that offense untracked in the first half.
Ruffin, pitch to Scott. Scott has to reach back for the look at this job by Scott. He breaks several tackles and gets a couple of yards when it looked like he was going to lose on the play, Sean.
Nice job eluding some tacklers by Scott. He has a lot of athletic ability.
He had to kind of reach back for that ball, Sean, and that forced him to reverse the direction of his run.
Well, I'll tell you, Woodbury's defensive ends have done a great job getting upfield and prohibiting Paulsboro from getting that option untracked. And they've done a really nice job at their number 74, who is Robert Duffield, number 66, also David Boyd.
Gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. And it looked like Ruffin tripped over the foot of his teammate, Dan Giorgiani. Giorgiani loses on the play back to the 38-yard line. Loss of 3, it'll be 3rd down and 11.
Now this is where Paulsboro was able to have some success in that first half. Ruffin made a few nice plays on 3rd down. Ruffin with 104 yards passing in the first half, 20 yards rushing.
Paulsboro trying to take advantage of the turnover, but they have a 3rd down and 11. Ruffin, good protection, fires it, and it's caught nicely by Lonnie Hampton, close to the 1st down.
Looks like they're going to be a little short for the Raiders. Hampton had to come back for that football. He did his job by getting past the 1st down marker, but had to come back for that football.
So the advance to the 27, but it's 4th down and 1. Here is a big defensive play for Woodbury. A big offensive play for the Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. Want to maintain possession.
And I'll tell you, Bob, this is where they miss Bennett the most. He's that power back who could pick up 1 or 2 yards to get the 1st down. Now David Paterna.
Big 4th and 1 call. Scott gets the yardage. He'll have the 1st down to about the 25-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Paulsboro.
Bob, how about Scott? He's such a versatile back. He has the speed, he has the ability to make the big play, but he's also a tough runner. He gets those tough 2-3 yards. He's always falling forward.
1st and 10 Paulsboro after the turnover. Paterna, Scott behind Ruffin. And then Paterna goes nowhere. Penalty marker is thrown into the pile. The first tackler was Vincent Allen. Had a lot of help on the play. Maurer was there. Also David Boyd. But a holding call against the Raiders. Boy, they have really hurt themselves with mistakes today.
And that's where that inexperience comes into play. Those mistakes on 1st down put you in such a hole. It limits what you can do offensively.
On the offense, 10 yards, end of the run, play 1st down.
So a big 10-yard step off against the Red Raiders back to the 36-yard line where it'll be first down and 20.
1-5-0, 3-4-1-8.
Gotta see their clips too.
3-4-1-8. Ticket drawn by the mayor for John J. versus John.
Where Paulsboro might want to use the screen to get some of that yardage back. They didn't show that in the first half. Woodbury's going to be coming upfield.
Ruffin fires it. Completed. Good job breaking one tackle by Hampton. I like Ruffin's arm, Sean.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Bob. I'll tell you, Ruffin, he has that scrambling ability, but he also has a really nice arm. He throws nice, crisp, sharp passes. Paulsboro's doing a good job of getting open. The receivers have done an outstanding job this far.
So a key 14-yard pickup, which will make it second down and 6. Ball at the 20-yard line. 7:43 to play. Third quarter, 7-0 Woodbury, but Paulsboro trying to answer. Ruffin twisting, turning, getting some good yardage. Nice effort by Ruffin.
Collins on the tackle, bring up a 3rd and 1.
Looks like Vincent Allen overran that play. He was in the backfield. Just missed Ruffin.
3-4-1-8.
Third down and 2. Ball at the 17-yard line. The Woodbury defense needs 2 big plays. Scott has some room. Scott breaking tackles. Scott still on his feet. Has the first down and a lot more down to the about the 6-yard line where it'll be first down and goal for the Red Raiders about midway through this third quarter.
I really like the game calling here for Glenn Howard. He hasn't given up on the run on the inside. Scott doing a really good job powering the ball on the inside. That's going to open up the outside later in the game.
First and goal. Paulsboro with 4 chances from the 6-yard line. Scott with the pitch, cutting it back inside, and he is hammered. Great initial hit by Arthur Lewis in the backfield, and the loss of about a yard, actually 2 yards back to the 8-yard line where it's second down and goal. Big play by Lewis.
Paulsboro keeps going to that strong side. Arthur Lewis so far has been really up to that challenge, stopping everything on that strong side for Woodbury. On the weak side, Chuck Adair not in the game. Replacing him is Daniel Karoma.
Ruffin reverses. Ruffin has some room. Ruffin down close to the goal line. And in for the touchdown on great second and third effort by Deontay Ruffin on the keeper. And it's 7-6 with Ruffin scoring the touchdown from the 8-yard line at the 5:55 mark of the third quarter.
I was saying at halftime, Ruffin is just a play or 2 away from breaking one and making a big play. There you see him eluding tackles. And there they went to that weak side. Boyd knew it was coming towards the goal line. They want to run to the weak side of Woodbury. And that got him into the end zone.
James Funk out of the hold of Ruffin, and it is blocked. A big block.
That's a live ball.
Not a live ball. So that is a huge extra point block by the Thundering Herd, leaving them ahead 7-6 with 5:55 to go here in the third quarter.
In high school football on a block kick, you can never return it for the 2 points like you would in collegiate or the pros. That's a big block kick there. That extra point was slow developing.
Woodbury sideline still fired up. They're ahead 7-6 and the extra point block as Lee Willie Murray gets the troops together.
That's why the kicking game is so important in a close game like this. A missed extra point here or there, Bob, could be the difference in the game. Of course, last year's game came down to a field goal by Funk. 33-yarder. just missed by inches. Second to last play of the game.
So Funk will be kicking off for Paulsboro, which is on the scoreboard after being shut out in the first half. Each team has scored on the other team's turnover. Fumble recovery setting this score up for Paulsboro. Funk kicking off. Oh, what a boomer this is. Nelson at the 2. Nelson looking for a hole, and he is taken down on an excellent special teams tackle.
Here you see the touchdown again. Ruffin going to that weak side. He's going to cut here in front of replacement Daniel Carolla. Beautiful into the end zone, showing a little bit of power there. Outstanding job.
We'll take time out from Paulsboro High School. It's a 7-6 ball game. Woodbury in the lead. Well, it's Woodbury 7, Paulsboro 6. We're in the third quarter. Sean Leary and Bob Shryock, the injured Woodbury player Vincent Allen, one of the key performers on this team, off the sideline. He's doing okay. Probably see him back in the game. So turnover is the story of this contest, both ways. Money keeps the football, gets a couple of yards. Mike Mendenhall, who had a big defensive play in the first half, makes the tackle for the Red Raiders. Gain of only 2 in the play. Well, about 3. Second down and 7. Ball at the 28-yard line.
Paulsboro defensive line has done a great job of keeping the Woodbury running game in check.
Nelson, and he is hit head-on by Mendenhall, bounces off of him, but is hit by 2 or 3 other tacklers, including Tom Giorgiani. Another injured Woodbury player. They've had a raft of them today. And that is
that's Tim Rivera.
Tim Rivera, what a key player he's been. So Woodbury has just been pounded. Rivera, the punter, halfback, fine defender.
Ironically, Woodbury came into the game very healthy. The only injury they suffered this week, it wasn't an injury, it was food poisoning, Bob. Drew Morgan, their offensive tackle, the sophomore on that line, had some bad milk during the week, and he was a little under the weather, but he came back. They're the ones suffering the injuries, although Paulsboro missing 2 key components this year in this game. Tom Curl, who was out for the year, and of course Bennett.
Rivera seems fine. He'll be back in. So it's third down and 7.
An update on one of the injuries in the first half, Mark McGilberry. They were carrying him to the sidelines in halftime, so it doesn't look like he'll be coming back in. Still Chuck Adair not present on the field here in the second half.
Money with the handoff, Coloma with the carry, but he will get nowhere near the first down. Holloway in on the tackle. He had help on the play. So the Paulsboro defense comes through after the offense manages a touchdown.
Some good news for Woodbury. Vincent Allen and Rivera coming back onto the field. Those 2 guys are huge for this Woodbury team. They don't want to lose them here in the second half against this team.
Sharper deep for Paulsboro to receive Rivera's punt. Oh, he can't get it off, and he's laying it down. Come on. There was that high snap from center, Sean, and it cost him the split second that enabled the Paulsboro defenders to get in and force him to not punt the football. Another serious mistake for the Thundering Herd, and Paulsboro is going to have great field position.
This has played the Thundering Herd all year long. Against West Effort, they had some mistakes in the kicking game. Again, here, they've already had 1 high snap, and this one results in extremely good field position for Paulsboro.
At the 18-yard line with a first down and 10, so Both teams hurt by mistakes in this contest. There's another one against Woodbury that hurts. Scott has some room. He'll dive down to about the 15-yard line, a gain of about 4 in the play.
Bob Scott's yet to break one, but he's getting the tough yards. Yards that later on will become breaks as the defense wears and you keep on pounding guys like Scott inside. He's really pumped up over the season, and you can see where last year he might have been more of a speed guy. He has a lot more strength this year.
Second down, Red Raiders, ball at about the 16-yard line. Paterna slides off one tackler, off another one. Paterna on his feet. Paterna's going to go in for the touchdown. Dave Paterna shedding tacklers on a terrific improvised 16-yard touchdown run when he should have been stopped at about the line of scrimmage. There is the backup to Troy Bennett with an excellent run for the touchdown. And at the 3:06 mark of the third quarter, Paulsboro with his first lead, 12-7.
And I'll tell you what, it looked like that was almost a fumble on the play. It looked like the exchange wasn't there. Paterna able to concentrate, hold on to the football, and an excellent job of breaking outside and getting in for the score. There was no one happier on that sideline than Bennett, who was egging on his replacement.
They'll go for 2 now, having missed the first extra point. Try to get it to 14-7. Ruffin rolling right, can't find anybody. He's going to have to run it. Fires it over the outstretched hands of the tender receiver. Let's look at this touchdown run by Paterna. It's a beauty.
You're going to see here, it looks like Paterna kind of reaches back for the football. If not, he was grabbed. Oh, the ball almost popped out there. Vincent Allen was the one disturbing in the backfield and almost popped that ball loose. But a nice job for Paterna to get
terrific run for the touchdown by Dave Paterna. Paulsboro with the lead. And there is Paterna.
Paterna last week scored his first touchdown with a 31-yard scamper. So he has the ability to put the ball in the end zone. And as we said, he might be a starter for just about any other team, but behind Bennett, he's had to play the role as backup.
The X factor now comes into play here at Paulsboro, Sean, and that is the Paulsboro fans who were noticeably quiet in the first half while Woodbury dominated, and Paulsboro had 4 turnovers. The 12th man for Paulsboro working right now. They're really into the game.
Yeah, they are, and good reason to be. Paulsboro now has the momentum, and the way the defense has played against the run, Woodbury's going to have to look for money to come up big in this second half. Still 3 minutes left here in the third quarter.
So 2 mistakes costing Woodbury here. Look at this one. Where's this going to roll? Oh, my. They got to pick it up. They got to pick it up. My goodness. Look at this mistake. Look at this mistake.
They're going to mark it at the 1.
They're going to mark it at the 1-yard line on another mistake by Woodbury that is going to prove very costly to the Thundering Herd as the ball just bounced around. Woodbury unable to pick it up. And Woodbury is going to have to start this possession.
They're going to mark it at the 1.
At the 1-yard line. Wow.
And Bob, what a tale of 2 halves. In the first half, Paulsboro was making the mistakes with 4 turnovers. Now, Woodbury seems to have lost their focus. I don't know what they were thinking there. That's a live ball. I guess they were just hoping the ball to just roll into the end zone. It would be down, of course, at that point in time. It's an automatic down. You get it at the 20. But to let the ball roll there puts them in a precarious situation. And the way the running game has gone, they're in a lot of trouble here.
At the 1-yard line, first down and 10. And they'll get it out to about the 3. So it's going to be second down and about 8 for Woodbury, but they need a first down or 2. They need to regroup offensively. Another Woodbury injury.
And they don't need Kanan Noon to stay on that field.
That is Noon down. We have had a plethora of Woodbury injuries today. We'll take time out from Paulsboro High School. This game is turned around here in the third quarter. It's Paulsboro 12 and Woodbury 7. Second down and 8. Thundering Herd at their own 3-yard line. Run by Nelson to about the 9. Nice gain by Nelson, short of the first down by about a yard. Nonetheless, a nice 7-yard pickup by Nelson, and Woodbury desperately needing a first down on this play. I think this is a real key play for Woodbury, Sean, because they have had a difficult third quarter, clearly. They can keep this this drive going. That'll, I think, regain some confidence, certainly for the offense, which has struggled here in the second half.
See, this is where I like to see those quick hitters with the quarterback keeper. It's only a yard, and with his size.
I don't know. Don't know. This is going to be close.
And see, Bob, I don't understand that in high school football. Why would you take a second to let the lineman push up forward and hand the ball off when you have somebody like Money who's 6'3", even though they do get the first down? You're just asking for trouble.
So that's a big first down pickup for Woodbury. They keep possession at their own 12-yard line with a first down and 10. Late stages, third quarter, minute 25 with the clock running. Paulsboro with a couple of TDs here in the third quarter on turnovers. And the Red Raiders leading for the first time 12-7. Pitch to Nelson. Nelson going nowhere. Great work in the corner. And look at that Paulsboro defense is fired up right now.
Yeah, and a nice job by Keros Cooper. I'll tell you what, these cornerbacks have come up to play here today. They've done a rather good job on defense of playing against the pass, and they've made a few nice plays against the run against Nelson and Rivera.
Nelson lost 3, second down and 13. And the ball at the 9-yard line. Could be the final play of the third quarter. It's a running play. Money rolling. He'll keep the football, and he'll get some decent yardage, but well short of the first down, down to about the 15. 15 seconds to go in the third. Woodbury is going to have a third down in about 6.5.
That's something Woodbury's missed this year, is the ability for the quarterback to tuck the ball in and run. I'd like to see Money run the ball a little bit more.
So that'll do it for 3 quarters at Paulsboro High School. The Raiders with a pair of TDs on turnovers here in the third. On the Underwood Memorial Hospital scoreboard, it's Paulsboro 12 and Woodbury 7. Glenn Howard pacing the sideline. 12 minutes to go in this one. Paulsboro 12 and Woodbury 7 as the Raiders down 7-0 at halftime scored all the points in the third quarter. Sean Leary and Bob Shryock. And a big third down and 7 play for Woodbury from its own 15-yard line. Money has some time, fires it, and it's completed nicely to Giles. Excellent play, first down, good throw. Nice route run by Matt Giles, and Woodbury keeps the football with a 1st and 10.
I think this is where the loss of Bennett hurts Paulsboro. On third down, Paulsboro was 6 sacks last week, and a lot of that was from Troy Bennett coming straight up the middle and disturbing the quarterback. And if he was able to get in Money's face a little bit, make him have quicker decisions there, he was able to set in the pocket, and make a nice pass there to Giles.
11-yard gain to the 26, first down and 10 Woodbury. Nelson has a seam, gets some yardage, 7-8 yards to about the 35-yard line. Nice gain by Nelson, good blocking. Second down and 2 for the Thundering Herd, just underway here in the fourth quarter, and we expected a good one with these teams, and we've got one. Paulsboro trying to stay undefeated at 3-0, and Woodbury trying to shake off the disaster that happened this week, the 2 forfeit losses after winning 2 games on the field. Money with the option. Money cuts it back inside, and he's not going far as he meets the defender, Tony Marina, head on.
Tony Marina with a nice play there to stop Money. Even though Money picks up the first down, Marina filling in for Bennett, moving to that middle linebacker position. And all his job is to find the ball carrier and tackle. That's what the middle linebacker does in this defense for Paulsboro.
So the first down pickup to the 39-yard line. Woodbury with consecutive first downs. And they have a first down and 10 at their own 39. Money to throw again. Fires it, and is it intercepted? No, apparently not. It's ruled not an interception. Ruffin looked like he might have picked that one off. The intended receiver was Nelson, and it looked like Nelson had a chance to catch that football.
Behind him, he tipped it up. It looked like Ruffin. It appeared that Ruffin had the football, but apparently it must have hit the ground.
Second down and 10, ball at the 39-yard line. 10:08 to play. Woodbury trailing by 5.
Boy, would this crowd have erupted if that would have been an interception.
Money sheds one tackler. Money with some good yardage. Picks up about 7. It's 8 on the play. His advance to the 47, so another critical third down call coming up. The herd needs 2 to keep this drive alive.
That's a good call by Boyd. Trying to get Money into this game. He feels like he needs to be in control, and he feels he gets that control in the second half. He's got to get on track. He's done a nice job here on this drive. A couple of turnovers and mental mistakes by Woodbury put them down 12-7.
Rivera's battling. He's not going to get the first down. Nice job in the corner.
Yeah, nice job by sophomore Mendenhall. Get upfield, disrupt Rivera. Make him change fields. Paulsboro was able to stop him now.
So the Paulsboro defense, the cornerstone of this program for so many years, does the job again here when pressure is on. Rivera will punt for Woodbury. Lionel Sharper deep for the Red Raiders.
How about a fake here, Bob? They've had trouble punting the football. Only need a couple yards for the first.
Another high snap. Look at this. Oh, what a great play by Giles. What a tremendous play by Giles. Nice call, Sean Larry. As they fake the punt, Rivera with the pass to Giles, and the 6'3" target receiver comes down with a clutch catch for a first down at the Paulsboro 40. Got to be a coach, Sean.
Just look at the field, Bob, and see what you see. Nice play there by Rivera to put it where only Giles can get the football.
So 3 first downs on this possession for Woodbury, and Giles going high to pull that one down for the first down catch. Money on the option, keeps the football, and won't get much. Good pursuit on the play.
There's that fake punt, Rivera. You can see Giles going out. Gets open right in the middle of the field. And a nice play there. He is 6'3", comes down with a football. One of the best receivers in South Jersey.
He's going to make a good college receiver, I believe, Sean. He is a little special.
And for as big as he is, he has great hands.
On the play.
Another flag. This has been a sloppy football game. A lot of penalty flags, a lot of turnovers. You wouldn't expect that from these two teams.
5 costly yards against the Thundering Herd will create a
Full start on the offense. 5 yards. We'll complete system down.
2nd and 15.
Bob, this is Money's 3rd game. How about the job he's done? This drive started from their 2-yard line. A couple of nice calls from Jim Boyd.
Another penalty. Money fires it and almost picked off as injured Paulsboro player. That is Karras Cooper, who did a nice job defending Giles on the play, but let's see what the penalty is.
Paulsboro, or Woodbury, just killing itself here. Into the fake punt. Now second down. It's going to be second down and 20.
Illegal shift on the offense. Refuse third down.
So they'll refuse this one. That'll make it a 3rd and 15, and another critical situation for Money. He's going to have to throw the football again. We'll take time out from Paulsboro High School. It's 12-7 Red Raiders. Karis Cooper okay for Paulsboro as Glenn Howard talks to his troops defensively. They have a 15 situation facing them. They know Money's going to throw the football.
You can see the class clown Tony Marina wearing that red and white face mask. Voted class clown, Bob. Tony Marina. Call him the plumber.
3rd down and 15.
His dad's a plumber.
Money to throw. Has room in the pocket. Going for Giles. Giles, does he get it? He has possession of this football.
Giles has
it. What a catch by Giles. Incredible. Between 2 receivers. Incredible catch by Matt Giles to keep the drive alive again. What a receiver this young man has become.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's interesting. Last year, Anthony Scott, they threw his way one time with Giles, and Anthony Scott picked off the pass. A near interception there by Anthony Scott. Anthony Scott only 5'6". Giles, as we said, he's 6'3", going 5'6" and 5'11".
This is a big leg catch right here. I mean a big leg catch.
Looks like all three of them have possession, but Giles coming down with it. Outstanding play.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Nelson gets a couple.
You see there with the Woodbury using more of a pitch. Bob, one of the reasons why is they haven't been able to practice the option. They've had a waterlogged field, and that's a little hard to get the option going when your field is soaking wet. Woodbury having a problem with its drainage over there, where the field sits low. So they haven't been able to work on the option. They're using more of a pitch. Nelson's been able to, and Rivera have been able to bounce that outside for a couple carries of 8 and 10 yards. So
6:30 to go, 2nd down and 9. Money back to throw. Has time, fires it, looking for Giles and Lewis. Lewis was the intended receiver. He tripped. He fell. He was pushed or tripped by a defender, but I think the officials are saying he went down on his own.
It looked like he got tripped up with the defender. It looked like their feet collided and he went down.
So 3rd down and 9. There's been one clutch play after another one engineered by Money on this drive, with Giles making a couple of amazing catches. Another big 3rd down call. Will they look for Giles again? Giles to the near side with single coverage by Cooper. Money to throw, fires it over the middle, and is it intercepted? Intercepted. Paulsboro comes up with the interception on a collision down at the 5-yard line.
Guess who that was? David Paterna, the one filling in for the injured Troy Bennett, comes up with a big interception there. That was an ill-advised pass by Money, throwing into triple coverage there. There's nothing to do with that ball.
Paterna is hurt after making the catch. Let's see this interception.
See him throwing into that triple coverage. There was actually 4 defenders around that ball.
He went down hard on his back.
It might have knocked the wind out of him.
This has been a hard-hitting football game. Injuries on both sides.
Dave Paterna, the junior, he'll fill in for Troy Bennett next year.
Well, he's had a game, hasn't he?
He's done an outstanding job, both on the offense and defensive side of the football.
So turnovers, the name of the game both ways today, and another big one here is Paterna's interception at the 5 gets Paulsboro the ball back and blunts the Woodbury drive that started at the 1-yard line. Some terrific clutch plays by the Thundering Herd, but the interception negates it. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to play.
And Bob, this is where that big offensive line of Paulsboro can come in handy. There's some big boys on the other side of the ball for Woodbury, but they got Anthony Big Spo, as they call him. 340 pounds. That's what he told me. He's listed at 255. Anthony Esposito, he's the right tackle. Tony Marina, obviously, the right guard. And they got Anthony Scott powered behind that right side of the line. They're just going to want to pick up a few first downs and keep that clock moving.
Well, there's a good crowd at Paulsboro. They surround the fence here at Raider Field. There's a nice crowd on hand, but we have an absolutely picture-perfect day for a high school football game. Fans loving it. It's a good one. You're always going to have a good football game when Woodbury and Paulsboro tangle. And we're still don't know who's going to have to be in the barrel tonight in the Woodbury Fall Parade.
Turner returns to his feet and walks off in his own power.
He went down hard after the interception, getting a big round of applause from the Red Raider fans. Now the pressure on the Woodbury defense. They need to get the ball back because time becoming a factor at 6:15. Paulsboro 12, Woodbury 7. Woodbury led 7-0 at the half. Paulsboro capitalizing on 2 turnovers to score twice in the third quarter.
Paulsboro back up. Not allow Anthony Scott to break any tackles.
Turner out of the game, not in his familiar fullback position. Scott with the carry. Scott trying to get to the outside, and he's still on his feet. Scott on the sideline pushes his own way, a man out of the way. Makes a nice first down carry. Penalty marker is down, and this is going to be unsportsmanlike against somebody.
Looked like Arthur Lewis, number 88, lost his cool, and that's going to be a big penalty. But Jim Boyd's not going to be happy about this.
It's a 16-yard gain by Scott on a very important run by Scott.
They're going to tack on another 15 yards.
This is huge. It not only gets Paulsboro out of a difficult spot in his own territory, but comfortably out in good field position.
I got a broken hand.
Okay, you'll live.
The dead ball foul, personal foul, 15 yards from the end of the run, and it'll be a first down.
So a 16-yard play becomes a 31-yard play after the penalty, and that advances the ball to the 37-yard line. A huge play with a 15-yard penalty, very damaging to the Thundering Herd. Now the Woodbury defense with the challenge here. They need to get the ball back. Scott slides through a tackle. Scott still on his feet. Nice job by Anthony Scott. Nice job. A play that looked like it was going to gain very little, if anything, becomes an 8-yard pickup to the 45-yard line. And it'll be second down and 2.
Nice job by Anthony Scott. A nice job of blocking by number 10, Lionel Hampton. Blocking Giles on that outside. That's the second time they sprung a nice gain on that left side.
Scott a lot now, and Scott has the first down carry up to midfield. So they're going to call Scott's number a lot now, particularly with Paterno on the sideline.
That's one. That's one. Jacks!
You can
Tom
see
Giorgiani is now filling a Paterno spot at the fullback position.
Bob, now you can see those 4-yard runs which were early in the game and now turn into 6, 7, 8-yard carries for Scott.
5 minutes, 10 seconds with the clock running. And now Woodbury wants to take a timeout, using one of its crucial timeouts here, still with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Timeout from Paulsboro High School. It's a good one. The Red Raiders 12 and Woodbury 7. There's Paterna, who has had the great football game, was injured on the terrific interception at the 5-yard line. Looks like he may have injured his neck. And there's Lionel Sharper talking to the camera, and head coach Glenn Howard. Paulsboro at midfield now with a 1st down and 10. And they'll just keep calling Scott's number, I would imagine. Scott heads one tackler, but not the second and the third. Giles is there in the corner, had plenty of help on the play. Dan Caroma in on the tackle. Also over there was C.J. Maurer.
Maurer, nice job shedding his block, making Scott bust that to the outside where Woodbury's waiting for him.
Slight loss on the play, 2nd down and about 11 for the Red Raiders.
Time becoming a factor now with 4:47 left.
Yeah, Woodbury defensively has to make a stop here. They can't allow Paulsboro to get 2 or 3 more first downs and chew up the clock.
Hold it up, guys. Hold it up.
Got officials timeout as checking Caroma's helmet. Bob, how about the momentum that has swung here for Paulsboro in the second half, as you were alluding to in the first? Glenn Howard, an excellent halftime coach.
Well, that's one of his strengths. I think everybody knows that. During the 63-game winning streak, each time it seemed that somebody had an opportunity to end the streak with a strong first half, Howard and his staff found some way to regroup at halftime and bring this team back. Paulsboro known as a second-half football team for many years. Boy, there's a nice job by Giorgiani. Junior filling in for Paterna. And his advance down to about the 47, where it'll be 3rd down and about 7. So a big play here. Woodbury needing to force a Paulsboro punt. This is one of the most critical plays of the game coming up, because Paulsboro, if it gets another first down, has another 4 downs to run some time. 3 minutes, 48 seconds to play. Oh, and some room here for Scott. And Scott is short of the first down. Short of the first down. Good job defensively. Caroma with a big tackle when it looked like Scott might get first down yardage. So it's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Interesting decision here, Sean, for Glenn Howard.
Look at Vincent Allen explode through that line. Almost get to Ruffin before it, and he's able to just pitch the ball back to Anthony Scott. A dangerous play for Paulsboro there. But 2 nice plays by Ruffin. And, of course, Vincent Allen from Woodbury. You see Scott.
Well, they're trying to decide what to do here. This is big. The ball is at the 42-yard line with a 4th down and 1. They used as much time as they could. Now they're going to take a timeout and talk about it. So Paulsboro's choice here is to go for the first down. If they get it, they're in great shape, because they have 4 more downs to run off time. Conversely, they could punt Woodbury deep. So they have some positive options here. But if Woodbury is able to hold, then Woodbury's got great field position.
Well, Glenn Howard now is thinking to himself, we've been able to run the football in the second half with Scott. He's been picking up the 2-3 crucial yards in the first half. Woodbury defense a little tired.
Just 2 minutes, 59 seconds to play, and this becomes a huge play in this football game at the 41-yard line.
Remember last year, Howard electing to go for it on 4th down at his own. It was 4th and 2, and Money recovered a fumble. 4th and 2 that eventually tied the game. So another critical 4th down call here for a Woodbury-Paulsboro football game. And Bob, what another outstanding game we've had.
Yeah, it's been a terrific game. Both teams playing very well. Anytime you have this kind of a rivalry, with so much at stake, the emotions running so high, you're going to have a lot of mistakes. So mistakes do not mean it's been a bad football game. It's been a good football game. It just happened to have its share of turnovers.
We Will Rock You. Bob, you know who performed We Will Rock You?
It was Queen.
Queen.
How did I know that?
It
John
wouldn't
Mondelli
be that John
told me.
Mondelli.
Here it is, 4th and 1. Biggest play of the game right here. And there's room and the first down carry by Giorgiani. That is enormous right there. Paulsboro with 4 more downs. Big play. Margiani, of course, better known up to this point for being a member of the state champion wrestling team, but probably the biggest carry of his football career right there with that first down.
Paulsboro has so many excellent backs. One that you're going to be hearing for a couple of years, Isaac Redmond, number 23. Remember that name for the next 3 years here at Paulsboro High School.
Ball at the 38-yard line, first down and 10. They'll let Scott carry it again. Scott up the middle gets significant yardage to the 35-yard line. The most important thing here for Paulsboro is they just want to hang on to the football. Now Woodbury burning its second timeout, and that's critical too. They used one of it at about the 5-minute mark. So pick up of 3, it'll be second down and 7, and another first down and another Woodbury timeout, and Paulsboro, Sean, can pretty much run out the clock.
Yeah, one more first down, and Paulsboro can start celebrating.
2:26 to go in this one. It's been a dandy, no question about it.
Really nice job by Paulsboro coming out and running in the second half, sticking to a game plan of running the football. Looked like Ruffin was doing a good job in the first half, making some plays on his own. Had a couple of nice passes in this game, but overall, Anthony Scott has been outstanding in the second half, picking up tough yards. It's not so much breaking away, but gaining tough yards, keeping the clock rolling here.
Well, the Woodbury defense must come up with a couple of big plays. Second down and 7, and they can ill afford to give up another first down right here. And Scott again. Scott sliding off tackle. Scott is going to have another first down. Still on his feet. Scott to the 20.
Fumble the football.
The ball is loose.
It's going to be out of bounds.
Oh, and it went out of bounds. There is a flag on the play. What a run by Scott. Fumbles at the end of the play. Looked like the ball was suspended in motion for a split second or two, but then rolled out of bounds. But let's see the penalty. Well, the penalty against Paulsboro, it's a clipping call.
Out of the foul call, and they're going to bring that back 15 yards. And a clipping call.
Clipping. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. We'll replay second down.
I don't know if we'll see that penalty. Maybe we'll be able to catch the fumble here. There you see
He broke
Scott
a big tackle there. That was the key tackle.
Hey, look at this cut. On money. Beautiful cut inside. And then breaks it on the outside. Breaks the tackle.
That's a tremendous run by Scott.
Oh. Rivera, look at, what a nice job. Nice job by Tim Rivera to pop that ball loose.
Second down and 4, so the long first down run comes back because of the penalty. And there is an enormous defensive play by number 73, C.J. Maurer.
Now with 2 minutes left in the game.
Woodbury must make 2 big plays. It's third down and 5. They have 1 first down left, I believe. Minute 50, clock running. Paulsboro is trying to run out the clock. If they get a first down, the game essentially is over. They can kneel on the ball.
Here's the game.
1 timeout. Another big defensive play. This time by Vincent Allen.
Oh, what a game he's had.
So it's bring up fourth down, and now Woodbury is going to take its final timeout. Scott okay, he was thrown for the loss, so it's fourth down and about 9. And this is interesting, Sean. Now, what do you do here if you're Glenn Howard?
Oh, no doubt you punt the football away. The farther you put money away from that end zone, the better. Remember, Woodbury has the big play capability. Matt Giles can go up. Also, Arthur Lewis can go up and get the football. So a couple big plays can put them in position to score a touchdown. I think you have to punt the football here, and I'm sure Glenn Howard will, in fact, do that.
The ball at the 36-yard line. Fourth down and 9. Minute 28 to play.
See the Woodbury coaching staff looking.
Coach Gale, great linebacker years ago at Woodbury High School, one of the coaches on this fine Woodbury staff. Of course, Butch also was a head coach at Haddon Heights High School in the Colonial Conference for a number of years. And they are going to punt. That's Funk back at midfield, and he's going to try to pin Woodbury deep with this one. It's a good snap. Woodbury goes after it. Nice job by Funk. He's fielding in the, and he's going to get down. A good smart play by Rivera because he almost ran it out from the 2. So Woodbury does have a chance. A minute 20 to go. They have possession from the 20-yard line, and of course we know about Money's arm, and we also know about the ability of Giles and Lewis to go deep. So Woodbury has the passing game to do it, but I believe they are out of timeout, Sean.
They are out of timeout, so what they're going to have to do is chuck it up and then get down the field quickly.
So we can have a pretty wild finish in this one. When the Paulsboro is going to play prevent, they're going to know that Monies has to throw in every down. He brings Giles and Nelson to the near side. Money to throw, rolling, gets a big rush, eludes a tackler.
It's a flag down.
Goes deep, looking for Nelson, and it's intercepted by Deontay Ruffin, and that could be it if this penalty is against Woodbury. Key penalty here. See which way this goes. This is big. Holding, and it's against Woodbury, so Paulsboro should keep possession.
They will.
That'll do it.
Miracle.
That should do it. Marcus Money kneeling, but he's had a terrific football game. He can't feel too badly. And it's Paulsboro ball. So fittingly, I guess, a turnover is going to probably wrap this one up for Paulsboro unless they make a Meadowlands type mistake here.
Here you see Money's going to roll out pretty quickly. Rolls out. Puts the ball in the air. Ruffin just sitting back there. We talked about his hands earlier and his eyesight in the field. Making the big play. And it looks like Mayor Sanderson will be sporting a barrel.
Yeah, he's like it's Donnie's turn in the barrel tonight at the fall parade. Paulsboro with possession at the 48. All they have to do is kneel on the football. They don't want to make any mistakes here.
All the turnovers we've seen. Vincent Allen, he'll try to disrupt that coming straight up the middle. He's so fast.
Ruffin with the interception. Now just kneels down. Nothing Woodbury can do about it. They can't stop the clock. A minute 3. Woodbury with no timeouts.
It looks like Paulsboro will go to 3-0, and now Woodbury with the 2 losses drops to 0-3.
Isn't that sad? And they're a good football team, Sean.
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, the thing about it is that Group 1 is very weak this year. They have 5 games left in Group 2, and that could get them into the playoffs. Of course, with the expanded system, 8 teams will get in. So Woodbury, they can win 5 games in Group 2. They still have a very good shot at making the playoffs.
Ruffin kneels again as a penalty marker thrown as Giles and Lewis came over the top to try to do something to knock the ball loose, and I guess they're going to get a penalty for that.
I don't think they intentionally tried to hurt anybody there. I don't know why they're throwing the flag. They're just trying to make a play. You never know what can happen, especially with all the fumbles and everything that's going on in this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
I don't think there's anything in the rule book that says you can't try to dislodge the ball when they're kneeling in a football, does it?
I think they were just trying to come over there. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, sure, it's a long shot.
15 yards from the end of the line.
I guess maybe they're coming off the top with their feet first, maybe trying to spike somebody. Maybe we weren't able to see that. In any case, this game is all but over.
Just has to kneel one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Raiders and the Colonial Conference champions now will go to 3-0.
The PA guy has them winning already, so I guess they're going to win. As Ruffin kneels down again, and this is going to do it. So the clock running down, 13 seconds to go. It's not officially over yet. Now 12. Wait a minute. Guess it isn't over. There's a penalty on the play. Woodbury offsides. Apparently somebody in the interior line made contact with the center of the ball before he hiked it.
On the defense, 5 yards.
So now they'll restart the clock and it's going to be over. 12 seconds to go.
Bob, I personally want to thank Mr. Giovanetti for allowing us to have some snacks during halftime.
What, you got something to eat?
I got a little roast beef sandwich.
Huh.
I guess that thing in your hand wasn't a roast beef.
It just was.
Could have been.
When they go over the top again, anything to try to keep the ball in play for Woodbury, but that's going to do it. They'll count down now to the final score. Paulsboro 12, Woodbury 7. Great Colonial Conference football. The host Red Raiders, defending Colonial Conference champions, moved to 3-0 on the season. We'll come back with an interview and wrap this one up after this. Final score, Paulsboro 12, Woodbury 7, but Glenn Howard wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't easy. We knew we had a tough game coming in this week. Anytime Paulsboro and Woodbury get together, it's going to be a tough ball game. And they got great talent and great coaches, and I'm just so proud of our kids for hanging in there the second half and keep fighting and pulling out a victory today.
Glenn, one of the things that you and your staff are known for is halftime adjustments. What adjustments did you make today?
Well, we didn't make too many adjustments. We felt as though our defense had been playing well. We just told our defense we can't give up big plays. We let them off the hook in some 3rd and long and a 4th down situation down on the goal line. So we just felt as though we had to play better in those situations, long distance situations, and not give up big plays. On offense, we felt as though we moved the ball at times. We got down in the red zone a couple of times, and then they start bringing some pressure and hit us with a couple sacks and some losses, and so that hurt us. So that's the kind of stuff we talked about, getting more aggressive on the line, a little bit better pass protection, and we felt as though our offense was moving the ball okay. We just needed to, punch across the goal line.
Glenn, it seemed in the second half you used Anthony Scott a little bit more, especially inside the tackles. He was able to gain some valuable yards in the second half. Was that something you did at halftime, was adjust and made him go in the inside?
No, not really. We tried to mix it up a little bit inside, a little bit outside. They was bringing some pressure inside, so we just had to try to mix it up. And sometimes, they had a player there, missed the tackle. We were fortunate a couple of times, but the line picked it up, their intensity and their blocking the second half, and, they did what we needed to do to win.
Your cornerbacks let up a couple of big plays, but they did a pretty good job holding those wide receivers in check, and also Marcus Money. What was your game plan, and did your game plan work against Money?
Yeah, we felt as though the defense played real well. I mean, you get whole Woodbury to 7 points, you're doing a good job. The first touchdown, we felt as though we had a shot to keep them out of the end zone. They pulled off a 4th down and goal situation, but I thought the defense played real well today, with the exception of a couple big plays we let them off the hook.
Well, and you have a young football team. It was interesting in the first half you had 4 turnovers, which really hurt you, but the irony of the game is that in the second half you caused the 2 turnovers, which resulted in the winning points. Yeah,
we always stress not turning the ball over, and that's something that we've been doing the first 3 games here. Is we have had some turnovers on offense, and it's just something that we have to try to keep working on week by week.
I know Jim Boyd is a good friend of yours. It's been a tough week for Jim, and they came out and they really played some tough football under some difficult situations.
Yeah, they did a great job. I take my hats off to them. I know anytime we go against Woodbury, they're always very well prepared, and they got excellent athletes, and we're in for a dogfight.
Glenn, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Glenn Howard, the head football coach at Paulsboro High School. Sean, you always anticipate a tight, well-played football game when these 2 schools get together. A lot of turnovers today, still a great football game.
Yeah, even though they had the turnovers, a lot of mistakes and with penalties, it still was a good football game. Very competitive. As always here at Woodbury Paulsboro, you're going to get a good game and an outstanding job by both teams to put a competitive football team on the field today.
Sean, good working with you again. This game today has been brought to you by the Bank of Gloucester County, hometown banking. Everybody knows your name, celebrating 10 years and growing to serve you better. Also by Underwood Memorial Hospital in Woodbury, partners with Jefferson Health System, working with you and your doctor for a healthier community. And also by Pandolfo Chiropractic, ensuring a long and active lifestyle through chiropractic care. Final score again from Paulsboro High School, the Red Raiders 12 and the Thundering Herd 7. For Sean Leary, I'm Bob Shryock. Thanks for watching on Comcast.